What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. And before you double check the title of this video and are thinking like, wait, am I at the right video here? Was this the Lackey Grand Prix game that I was expecting it to be? You are in fact in the right place. This is a Type 1 game, despite what the size of the deck may indicate. As you can see, there's only 10 cards in the reserve here. That should be pretty. That should be the dead giveaway right there. Um, yeah, we're playing a 100 card deck. I started off this Lackey Grand Prix with the Ephesian Widow Life in the Sun combo against Josh Potratz, and we got to finish it off that way, but not because it's not going to be the same. Okay, it's not just like, oh, I wanted to play the combo again. It's, well, there's a way to win with it. Not there's a way to not simply deck out on turn one, but to win on turn one. That's what we're going for here. And we ended up doing it with a 100 card version because, well, I started out with 57, and we needed 100 cards to get it done. It surprisingly increased the consistency because we could run some duplicates of certain cards, and it kind of filled it out so that there was enough in there to get enough milling, because the way that we're going to win is with the cross. So basically, the condition at the end there, while every deck is empty, if your meek anti-hero is successful in battle, rescue any number of lost souls and or meek heroes. So we have a way to rescue more lost souls than just 3 in a turn with like 1 in a rescue and 2 with dominance. Instead, we can rescue all of them with the cross. Well, we can rescue 1 in battle and then the rest of them with the cross. And if we play our cards right, we can do so on turn 1. So the way that we do this is 3 phases. First, we have to combo. We have to use Ephesian Widow and Life in the Sun to draw our entire deck. If you're unsure about how this combo works or you haven't seen it yet, you may be living under a rock. You may be new to the game. Either way, you should check out the video from a few weeks ago where, like I mentioned, I played it in the first round of the Lackey Grand Prix, and I think I called it Infinite Draw, Infinite Mills. Seems decent. Because, well, it does. Winning on turn 1, also decent, by the way. if you can pull it off, because this deck is not entirely consistent, reliable, but it is a lot of fun to try out, and if you can do it, it's impressive, at least in my opinion. So that's what we're going to be trying to do here. And so phase 1, get to the combo. We've got a whole stack of cards here that help you do that, along with, just cards kind of scattered throughout the rest of the deck, but we have a whole bunch of good enhancements that can help get us there, either by searching for different pieces of it or by searching for cards that search for different pieces of it. Even Bearing Our Sin is in here because the star ability just says reserve this card to draw 1. So it's kind of like we're playing a 99 card deck, except we still get to run duplicates of other cards. With Hopper, it makes it 98, so it's kind of the same idea as Hopper in that regard. Same sort of thing with Faith of Joseph. You can just draw 1, place it in territory. So it's just a way to cycle through cards in our deck, and we have all sorts of things like that, and star abilities like Moses, which we can have 2 of in a 100 card Type 1 deck, and Virgin Birth to look at the top 6 and take 1 with the star ability. So we're kind of pulling out all the stops here to try to make sure we get to this combo. Pretty much everything has to be in like clay or blue or green. I guess not really blue, but clay or green and white are kind of the main brigades here. So that's what most of our tutors are going to be in, but we have Solomon's Dream that we can play on, like Obed or Jesse, or even Rahab, who's in here just as another option for that. She's a Ruth hero to get with Land of Moab, and then she can play Solomon's Dream. She can play Virgin Birth. That's an important one because it only takes a human hero from deck if used by a female. So if I don't use a star ability, or if I draw it later, or if I search for it, or whatever, if I get it into my hand, then I can play it on Rahab as another option. Of course, Pharaoh's Daughter too, if I play her as good. So there are a lot of things that you can include in the 100 card version that weren't in the 57, like Numerous as the Stars and Faith of Sarah, and even Zerubbabel's Plumline, which may not seem like it's all that reliable, but with cards like Denarius and Faith of Joseph that let you just draw, or even Created by Christ, which if I search, put Ephesian Widow on top of my deck, and then play Created by Christ, then I'm revealing Ephesian Widow, and I can play her from that. So Created by Christ is kind of coincidentally part of getting the combo, but it's also part of how we're actually going to win the game, which that's phase 3. Phase 2 is how we're going to actually mill the opponent. So the combo is like phase 1, empty our deck. Phase 2 is empty your opponent's deck. And I should mention before moving on, phase 1 isn't as easy as it sounds. You do have to actually not go over the hand limit. Otherwise, I mean, you could just be like, okay, I'll just combo Life in the Sun with Ephesian Widow infinitely and put my entire deck into my hand. You can't do that in Redemption because there is a maximum hand limit of 16, so you can never really go over 15 cards in your hand because either Ephesian Widow or Life in the Sun is going to be in there. So you do have to put stuff down. You do have to be able to play enhancements, which of course we've got pretty much all territory class enhancements except for a couple that are going to be involved in phase 3. And even on defense, it's the same thing, even though there's only 3 of them. So all stuff that we can put down, the few exceptions being dominance, which we may or may not be able to play or want to play at certain points, and then unique characters, which they're the only duplicates of unique character are Moses. So we have ways to deal with that, like using prosperity. So like hold Moses in your hand until you get prosperity is a good strategy, or one of the things that I thought of while I was goldfishing this deck, which this deck takes a lot of goldfishing and getting used to learn it and actually be able to do it without having to sit there for 10 minutes and be like, okay, that card, then that card, then that card. Like, your opponent's going to get real bored real quick, more bored than they're going to be if you actually do pull off the combo anyway. So it's just going to make it, at least twice as worse. I even took notes on this junk mail that I had sitting there. I was like, I need to have something to reference here so that I actually remember certain things about the deck that I need to do, like as I'm comboing, or like the order in which to do certain things. So it's a lot to take in, to try out. I wouldn't recommend it because hopefully this combo gets banned, but it might be kind of fun if you're up for like a Redemption puzzle kind of brain teaser, like, okay, how am I actually going to do this? Like, first part getting to the combo pieces, and then actually implementing the combo and getting your whole deck into your hand / into your territory. So that's phase 1. Okay, phase 2, we're gonna mill the opponent. Normally that has to come like after phase 1 is complete, because you want to have things available to work with. Like, you want to have your Obed before you play all of your opponent's Lost Souls with Sowing Bountifully, because they might have Lost Souls that, like Distressed, that are going to mess up your Ephesian Widow stuff. So if you don't have Obed yet, then Distressed is going to kind of shut you down unless you have 3 Woes, but maybe you need that for something else. So there are things to consider there. It's going to be a lot easier if you can just get your entire thing down, or at least everything important, like Obed and Jesse, and having 3 Woes in your hand to kind of deal with something that they might draw or whatever, before you do Sowing Bountifully to get rid of all the evil cards in their deck. Since the last time I used this combo, there was it wasn't a rule change, but it was just a realization of how the card actually works, because it says return good cards to the top of a deck, then it says discard evil cards. So dual alignment cards that are both good and evil, like 3 Woes is good and evil, Delivered is good and evil, they get returned to the top of deck before being discarded, and so since they're no longer revealed, they're no longer a target for the discard portion, so those cards stay in deck. And that was actually what turned a lot of people off, I think, to the idea of trying to actually win on turn 1. They were right after the combo was revealed, and people were kind of putting this together like, oh man, we can maybe win on turn 1 with this. And well, you could have, but no, this is the way to do it. This is a way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. The 57 card deck did get close. In one of the test games, I played against someone who was testing a 63 card deck, and I got all but 2 cards. So if they were playing a quote-unquote normal size deck, I can't really say normal because I'm playing a 100 card deck, so, but if they were playing a 50 or even a 57 card deck, I theoretically would have had enough to hit them completely, or to pull off the first turn win, because I was fortunate enough to get it in that game. In other games I tested, I wasn't so fortunate. Either I didn't have it, I didn't go first, and they set something up, and it wasn't quite as consistent, or I wasn't able to get all the cards out, even if they were playing a 50 card deck. So there are things that make it more that make it trickier, and are going to get in the way there. But you definitely want to start off with Sowing Bountifully, get all of the purely evil cards out, or evil and neutral cards, I guess. Well, they can be evil and neutral, so curses are evil enhancements and artifacts. They will get discarded because they can be discarded as evil cards, and then the rest of the neutral cards get underdecked at the end of it. The underdeck the rest part there. So that's where you're going to start. Of course, the way that you're getting rid of all of these cards is by bouncing your Ephesian Mentor or Apollos, a basically unique Ephesus hero, up and down with Life in the Sun, and then having Church of Christ out to just make a whole bunch of these fancy follower tokens, which are now in Lackey, by the way. So if you update your plugin, you can get those if you haven't already, and harvest tokens too. We'll get to those. Those are also part of phase 2, but later on. So you want to start out with Sowing Bountifully, get all the evil cards out of there, so that the rest of your mill cards are going to hit, for one, not Lost Souls. That's pretty important, and for two, not evil cards, because Sowing Bountifully only hits evil cards, whereas the other cards are just kind of random from the top. So then what do? We've got Plague of Hail. That's going to be the next biggest hitter, heaviest hitter, I guess. So you can use this to discard the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. And then we have the New Covenant interaction, I guess, that Tyler included in his first video, which if you haven't checked it out yet, Tyler Stevens, aka Mr. Hiatus, started posting some deck overviews. So basically what I'm doing right now, except without the game portion of it, and maybe once in a while we'll kind of collaborate a little bit on that. I'll let him do the deck overview, and then I'll play the game, just because I kind of already have time committed to doing this each week. So whereas he's very busy dedicating other Redemption time to play testing and card creation and all that fun stuff that I'm sure you guys have heard about, and we're all looking forward to. Anyways, he used this. It's something that I actually talked to with Jonathan Gomez after the game we played last week, because he was using a mill deck. He's kind of known as the guy with that mill deck. So I pointed this out to him, and he was like, wow, that's really sweet. I'm definitely going to have to incorporate that. And I think a deck like the one that Tyler posted with the Infinite Plague of Hail is kind of the way to go if you want to run a mill deck, because it's not like purely mill. It has some power to it, which is kind of what a mill deck lacks. But I think that you could maybe, if you want to try to have more fun with it, do a little bit more selective milling with cards like False Prophecy, Balaam's Prophecy, Vain Vision. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about the milling our opponent just for one recursion of Plague of Hail with New Covenant, but it's definitely worth it. So we toss up Book of the Covenant in the Tabernacle here. We activate New Covenant, underdeck it, and Plague of Hail. Hopefully we don't mill a good OT enhancement from our opponent with the first Plague of Hail, because then we will have to underdeck that from their discard pile when we activate New Covenant. If they do, it's not the end of the world. You could also just banish it with Reverence and Awe if you still have that around. So just something to think about. So at the very least, we're getting 9 cards with Plague of Hail, or we're netting 9 cards. And between Pharaoh's Daughter and Slaves in Egypt, we can discard these as for meeting the requirements of Plague of Hail, discarding an Evil Exodus card, and we can also get those back with one or both copies of Love Righteousness if we need to. They're kind of just there as fodder for the Plague of Hail. Honestly, Slaves in Egypt probably isn't necessary. There might be a better character or hero that you can include that will be a little bit more reliable, like maybe another meek flip hero like Rahab or something. No, maybe like Ruth, so that you can use the if used by a female portion of virgin birth, and then the meek side of for Solomon's Dream, and then Search of the Land of Moab. I didn't go through all of that stuff in phase 1, but that's just the kind of things that I was able to incorporate or kind of thought through as I just continuously goldfish this deck to try to make it as consistent as possible. So anyways, that's the whole thing with Plague of Hail, is just trying to get that big chunk of cards off the top, and then everything else is just going to be like little bits at a time until we get kind of towards phase 3. It's kind of like phase 2.9, I guess, is kind of the next big chunk. We'll get there, but in the meantime, we've got Turn to Egypt. We've got 2 of those because we've got a 100 card deck, so it's 1 per 50 with these single brigade enhancements. Same thing with heroes. If you're unfamiliar with the deck building rules for Type 1, you can look in the REG for that. They're on like page 5, 6, or 7, somewhere in there. It did kind of take me a while to be like, okay, is this deck for sure legal for Type 1? Because the size of deck, I'm so used to Type 2. And this would be pretty easy to do in Type 2. You could just do 4 copies of Spirit as a Dove, 4 copies of Life in the Sun, and 4 copies of Ephesian Widow, and just 2 copies of Lord's Prayer, and it would just be super consistent. But you would also have to have balanced offense and defense, so you wouldn't quite be able to run like this massive tipping, or it's massively weighted towards offense, as you can see with these 7 evil characters and 10 evil enhancements, 3 evil enhancements, 10 evil cards altogether. Anyways, so that's phase 2, I guess. On the other milling parts that we have, Ramses in here between the 2 of them, you can get a total of 5. The way that works is you put Exchanger into one of them, you put a Meek Lost Soul into the other one, that's 2. You exchange for the Harvest token that you make with the Harvest Lost Soul, so that there's a Meek Lost Soul in the other one. If they have a different Meek Lost Soul, you can exchange for that one too, but you want them both to be Meek so that you can play Burial to underdeck both of them. And if they have, for whatever reason, played a good dominant this turn, maybe they had Son of God and they just wanted to play it when they got the chance, you can underdeck the deck discard Lost Soul that you can put into a different site, and you can draw into that again and use that. So with those, that's like a maximum of 7, I guess. We have 5 with Ramses, and then potentially 2 with the deck discard Lost Soul if you do happen to be able to underdeck it with Burial as well. But don't necessarily want to count on that, so at least 6 between the Lost Souls and Ramses. We've got 3 with Samaritan Water Jar if we're able to activate it. One of the ways that we can do that, even if like we draw it throughout the process, I guess, obviously we're going to draw it with decking out, but if we can keep it in our hand, and then we can put down Foolish Edomites, which is kind of a way to is mostly part of phase 1 of just making sure that you don't get too many cards in your hand. Like if I've got Moses stuck in my hand because the other one's in play, then I can use Foolish Edomites to underdeck him, and then when I want to, just bounce Foolish Edomites and kind of as part of the combo, which is pretty easy with 2 copies of Life in the Sun and 2 copies of Ephesian Widow. So Ephesian Widow's generic, so you can have them both. And you trigger both of them to get both copies of Life in the Sun back, and you can also do similar things with Invoking Terror, which as far as I know, JD was the one who kind of introduced Invoking Terror to the deck. I do have a multicolor Magician for it, and basically just takes out your opponent's entire offense. But if I'm planning to win on turn 1, I don't really care about their offense, and really it's just in there to cycle my own offense, so I can underdeck one of my unique Ephesus heroes, or I guess one of my non-Ephesian Widows, and then I can use Ephesian Widow and Life in the Sun to draw into them, and then I can use Life in the Sun to bounce Foolish Edomites, and then I can play that hero down to get Life in the Sun back. So it's all connected. Okay, so Samaritan Water Jar, get it back into my deck with Foolish Edomites, play Delivered to activate it. That'll be if I still have access to Delivered. If I it'll only be if I had to activate an artifact in my regular artifact activation in my artifact pile, or if it was David's Harp that I had to activate there before I got David down, then I'm going to want to leave it there. Not going to want to activate Samaritan Water Jar. But with all of the, like at the 100 card version, you shouldn't necessarily need Samaritan Water Jar. It's just obviously very easy and convenient if you do happen to have it. There are a few other things that we can use. Created by Christ is going to be part of, it's kind of part of all three phases. I mean, it gets a few cards out of your opponent's deck. It can get, combo pieces like Ephesian Widow or, one of the clay heroes that you need from your deck. And it also will help set up the phase 3 of actually winning the game through a rescue, because you do have to be successful in battle with your Meek NT hero with the cross active. So the Created by Christ will serve multiple purposes there, kind of depending on when you have it during the game. And then a couple other cards. Loaves and Fishes was actually in there to kind of help deal with the first. Like if I don't have Obed, then the first is going to really mess up the milling. Like, I mean, maybe they negate Obed or something, and I guess I would be able to bounce him. But in the 57 card version of the deck, I didn't have Obed, and one of the test games was against someone who was using the first, and that really messes you up because they can choose not to draw out the first, but they can still top deck it. So it's like every mill card you have says mill a card, or mill this many cards -1, which is not great. Because a lot of the mill effects are just like either single or double, one or two cards at a time. And so one of the answers you can do with that is underdeck all of their Meeklaw Souls with Burial so that they don't have Unity for the first, and then the first comes into play, and then they can't top deck it, and then but once you get to all of those Meeklaw Souls, they're all back in their deck, and you have to get them out of their deck somehow, so you can play Loaves and Fishes to make them draw a card once you get all the way down there, and then they just draw all of their Lost Souls. Not very efficient, and probably not really necessary, but it's another way to empty a card out of their deck. It's also another kind of replacement effect, or it just kind of makes our deck one card fewer, I guess. It's like the Faith of Joseph and bearing our sin things I was mentioning earlier, as long as we have a hero to play it on, obviously. Plague of Blood is also kind of multi-purposed. I can either grab an enhancement from my opponent's deck, and then this one does hit dual alignment cards, so you can do this one right after Sowing Bountifully if they have a few dual alignment cards right on top, and then you just play Plague of Blood and hit those. That's going to be a good use for that to kind of get the most bang for your buck. And you can also use it while trying to get to the combo in phase 1 to reveal your own top 3 cards, and hopefully find an enhancement that you can play to search for something, or do cool stuff. You do have to be careful though, because one of the test draws that I was doing, I played Plague of Blood, used it on myself, completely whiffed, except I hit my Falling Away, which is going to be important later on for phase 3. So there is definitely a drawback in that, but it's kind of like an all or nothing sort of thing. So I mean, you got to give it a shot. You got to try it. So, anyways, that's pretty much all of the milling stuff. I didn't add it all up exactly, but it was somewhere in the range of like 24 to 27 cards, depending on kind of where things are at, and that's not even counting what you hit with Sowing Bountifully. So a lot of times that's going to be enough in a regular size type 1 deck with a kind of regular size defense, I guess, or maybe not regular, but typical size deck and defense. So what's phase 3? All right, we got to win the game. How do we do that? With Created by Christ, we're going to be playing a hero from their deck for sure, as long as they have heroes in their deck, which they probably should. And potentially an evil character if they have dual alignment characters, but we're probably not going to be playing it until after Sowing Bountifully. So if they have any just straight up evil characters like all of these dudes in this deck, they're probably not going to be in there. But if they have something like one of these two dudes or dudettes, they can play them as an evil character if they want to. Then ideally they'll play a hero, and we will play Falling Away to convert it. I guess ideally they'll play a human hero, and we'll play Falling Away to convert it to a brigade that they don't have anything to play it on. We can check that with the first sacrifice. That's why that's still in here, even though I don't necessarily care what evil cards they have in their hand once everything is said and done. But it does kind of help to give you peace of mind, like, okay, I can safely choose this brigade, especially if you're going first and you haven't seen anything in their deck yet. I guess you see everything with Sowing Bountifully, but yeah, you can just make sure that there's nothing they can do about it, because that would be really sad if you get that far and then they have a battle winner or something to stop you from rescuing, because you do have to choose an evil character to block if you I guess if there are still cards in their deck that you have to mill. This is kind of phase 2.9, I guess, where you're kind of setting up for the actual win. So anyway, we're doing Falling Away on one of their heroes. Then we're going to rescue with Simon the Zealous. We'll just bring it over here where I'm out of the way. And you're going to convert him to Meek and choose the evil character to block. Maybe they have a Moses Friend of God that you converted into, orange, and they don't have any orange stuff to play on him. So then you get initiative. You play Faith of Samuel to ban in any number of human heroes. You ban in at least David the Psalmist. You probably want a few other, not him, a few other like Meek NT heroes, maybe some of your follower tokens, just in case they do have something to get rid of Saint Simon. It's just kind of a backup plan, because you do need a Meek NT hero to be successful in battle. So you ban in David. Hopefully you still have David's harp active, either on David or on your artifact pile. And then David can play an enhancement involving music. If you watched that video, which was, I believe, the one just prior to the first combo video, I was doing some music stuff and utilizing David with the pre-block play and Song of Moses, and The Lord Goes Before You is definitely one of the best enhancements that you can play pre-block with David, because you can set up a side battle to do some damage with your evil characters, and that damage is going to hopefully be getting rid of the rest of your opponent's deck. So I can just choose Egyptian army to fight Moses, and then Egyptian army will hit their top 4 probably, because we have 4 Egyptian warriors in here. If for whatever reason we have to discard Murdering Pharaoh with one of the Plague of Hail activations, then it might just be 3, but ideally it will be 4. And then Hard-Hearted Pharaoh should hit 2, and Taskmaster can be banned into battle to hit another one. So that will hopefully finish off their deck, and hopefully they don't have anything they can play on Moses to either, I guess it doesn't really matter if they win the side battle, because The Lord Goes Before You will discard him anyway, but as long as they don't have anything to negate The Lord Goes Before You in the side battle, or discard all of your Meek NT heroes in the regular battle, then you should be all set to go, because everybody here will get discarded. Well, I guess Moses and Egyptian army will get discarded, because those are the evil characters you chose for the side battle, and then these guys will go back to territory, assuming that they win the battle by the numbers. Believe that's how it works. Could be wrong on that. But either way, they'll be discarded, and these guys will win the battle, and then you trigger the cross, and woohoo, you win like 227 or however many Meek follower tokens you wanted to make with your Church of Christ, to 0, or maybe 1, or maybe 2, depending on if they have dominance or if they went first. But this is all in the best case scenario. Definitely not going to be super easy to pull off, but I will say that it does seem to be pretty consistent. It's relatively easy to mess with, if they have the right dominance, or you just whiff, then it's going to be very hard to pull off, of course. But we have some contingencies in the reserve here, because if you don't happen to win on turn 1, you will have access to your reserve during the game. So we put an extra copy of the Cross in here, extra copy of the Church of Christ, Eternal Covenant to get back whatever heroes we need, Noah's Ark to protect the heroes that we have. So just a whole bunch of kind of contingency stuff to win battles and take care of the rest of their evil cards and whatever they drew into, to hopefully win, even if they do interrupt or mess with the combo. So it's not completely glass cannony, but it is pretty glass cannony. I mean, you can look at this defense; it's not winning any battles unless it's by the numbers with just this big band. So, yeah, granted, it is a little bit tough to deal with. Yeah, murdering Pharaoh can maybe do some work, get some stuff done, decrease some heroes, but yeah, probably not going to be winning a whole lot there. So this is the deck. This is what we're trying to do. If you're in the Lackey Grand Prix and you pay attention to the pairings, or if you just read the title of the video that you're currently watching, you'll know that I'm playing against Emmanuel Echavarria. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Sorry, Emmanuel. Most people just call him Emmanuel or your eman, as he is on on Discord. He is a great guy and very fun to play with. He's kind of known for playing a Daniel deck, and every time a Daniel deck is mentioned on Discord, he's kind of like, pops out of his gopher hole, so to speak. It's like, somebody say Daniel. It's always a lot of fun to see what he comes up with and play against him. And so I didn't know that I would probably have to be ready to play against the Daniel deck. I didn't really tech against it. I just kind of realized that I should probably do this anyway, because there are heroes that I would have to deal with. Like, I had Falling Away, and I was like, oh, that should be enough to deal with Foretelling Angel, who protects his deck from discard abilities. And I was like, well, maybe Christian Martyr would be a good idea too, just in case, because he is going to get to play any hero from his deck if I create it by Christ after sowing bountifully. So that was a slight tech that should be in the deck anyway. So that's something to consider. And Emmanuel is one of those guys that I was like, okay, I feel okay playing this deck against him, because he's going to appreciate it to the same degree, or maybe to a slightly lesser degree than he's going to be like, okay, this is dumb. Because, well, it is dumb. I mean, this any combo that goes infinite like this and that's so easy to pull off, I think is not healthy for the game. But while it's legal, and I just figured I had to give it a shot, because if you have the chance to build a deck that can win on turn one, you should probably do it. You should probably take that chance, especially in a tournament. Albeit, this one is unofficial, but it was a lot of fun to try out. And Emmanuel is a great player and a great sport, and it was really fun to play with him. Also, shout out real quick to Luke Marshall, because he was the one who I think kind of put me onto this of like, okay, now I got to try to figure it out if it is, because I think we were talking about the New Covenant Plague of Hail thing. This was a few weeks ago now. I think like this deck, I've been kind of working on it for a couple weeks and kind of waiting for the right moment to bring it out. And when I actually felt confident that it had a better than 50-ish% chance of working. He was like, yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it, and I wanted to make it work, and I was like, and it's possible, and if I think of anything, I'll let you know, unless I want to make it into a video, which is what I'm doing now. So here you go, Luke. Now you know. It's definitely possible, borderline probable, and let's go ahead and get into the game and see if we actually pull it off. All right, well, let's do it.
All right, we'll draw 8. Surprise you with my Lost Souls here.
Oh boy. Meek Daniel Souls.
I'm surprised of how many people I play with are like, oh wow, Meek Daniel Lost Souls.
Alright, so I guess we get to roll here.
I finally get to go first.
You get to choose, you don't have to go first.
Oh wow. That's very interesting. There's no I remember they talked about a mulligan. I have a mulligan.
Well, there's a certain card that if you have it in your hand, then I'll let you do it. But
sadly, that card. I don't have that card in this deck. Moses. But I think I'll go first. Do you have any stars?
I do have a few. Speaking of Mr. Moses,
Oh,
and let's see, what order do I want to do these in? I suppose I'll look at your hand first, and then I will use Virgin Birth and then Moses. So let's go
that's the
see what you.
mulligan I need.
We'll go see what you wanted to mulligan away. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's not too bad. No characters. That's what we like to see. I will look at my top 6.
I feel like this always happens when I play you.
Just a bad draw.
No heroes.
Oh, I guess that's kind of what happened at Nationals, right? I will take that a 1 and send that to the bottom of my deck, and the rest of those stay on top. And I will I'm just gonna shuffle 2 cards. We'll do that card and Moses. And draw 2. Oops, I didn't actually shuffle. Try that again. Draw 2. Okay. So I guess I'll resolve my Lost Soul abilities here. Don't want to discard to Prosperity. Yeah, I suppose you can discard Solomon's Dream, draw 2,
Ooh.
and I'll use Exiles to top deck Solomon's Dream.
Oh wow.
And I will I will not use, well, I'll use Awake. I'll
Ooh,
play a
that's a
Lost
lot.
Soul. I'll play a Lost Soul from my deck.
Oh man, I have one in mind in my deck.
Mm-hmm. Should I get my Wanderer? You might want to exchange for one of yours. You know, they're pretty good. Let's see. Where did that go? I'll grab an Imitate. All right. Take it away, sir.
All right. So much I can do here. Oh, I guess I put that down as a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just play this. Yeah, there's not much I can do, I guess. Yeah. Let's put it cross down and I'll pass.
All right. So my characters are negated and you're restricting dominance. Hey, look, I drew one of your Lost Souls.
How did that happen?
Um. Okay. So I think I have to do things this way. No star abilities, so I guess I can do my upkeep, awake. I will not use that. I will put down Egypt, and we'll go grab an Egyptian. Which will be Pharaoh's daughter. We'll go ahead and put her down as evil and search for Moses. It's kind of nice of you to activate the cross so that I don't have to worry about you playing your dominance now.
I know. I was just thinking to myself, dang, should have done something differently.
Let's see. Let's put down an artifact. I will put down Moses, and I think we gotta do this now.
You don't have to.
I'm going to play Plague of Hail to negate Babel. And I'm going to discard my Pharaoh's daughter and hit your top 5.
So reveal top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. So that goes to play.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all discarded. That hurt.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing the storehouse go. What's that?
And then do I get to draw 1?
Yes, you can use the first if you so choose.
Yeah, it's something.
Alright. And I will play a Saint Simon. And play Spirit as a Dove. Go get a good New Testament card from deck.
Or just tossed.
Oh, that's right. Tossed by the cross. Uh-huh. Guess I should have negated that too, huh?
Nice, some benefit.
Alright, I will activate Denarius. And we'll go searching for Mr. Nero. We'll go ahead and put him down and discard Denarius to draw 3. And we'll put down David and play Delivered. And I will activate the harp on David. And we'll go grab a good enhancement involving music, which will be Love Righteousness. I will play Love Righteousness to go grab Let's do... grab Justice Seekers. And then I will oh, should have done that differently. Oh well. I'll play Fifth Seal, go grab a New Testament enhancement, which will be Faith. Did that a little inefficiently, but I'll play Faith to go grab Mr. Noah from my deck. And then I will play Noah as Meek, play Emmaus Road, go grab Solomon's Dream from my deck, and then I will play that and say I'm sorry, and I'll search for Ephesian Widow. I'm a little bit sorry, but I'm hoping it's gonna be cool.
Hey, it's okay.
So I will put down Ephesian Widow.
It's a different style deck.
And I will play Life in the Sun to bounce Ephesian Widow and draw 2. And I don't know if you want me to actually play through it all, or if since you have the cross active, it's alright if I just keep drawing.
Go. And I put the cross up and I have 3 rolls up. That's amazing.
So I'll just draw 2 at a time.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Let's I'll just leave those there and kind of draw as needed, but I'll start with playing Emmaus Road again. And I will grab the first sacrifice. And I will I'll play that to negate Babel again and underdeck an evil card from her hand. Burial's Burial's kind of tempting here, but I think we gotta do. I think we gotta do the woes.
Under deck.
See, you found a hero off of your
I did.
I will put down a Taskmaster, and I will draw with Widow. I'll put down Artifact, and I will play Come with Moses to draw 1. And I will draw with Widow. Hopper for you.
Ooh, thank you. I needed more. Lost souls.
I thought so. I'll put down a Jesse. I'll draw with Widow. Put down a Rahab. Play a Faith of Joseph. Play some.
Can I play Dom?
Draw 1. Not the cross is still active, right?
You put Jesse down, right? Oh, negate characters.
Yeah. Obed is the other one.
I thought that negated neutrals. I said, I guess I can play Chronicles.
Let's see. I will play Come with David. Play.
You know, I actually haven't played against this deck this whole tournament season. So when everybody was talking about it, it's like, I'm
really?
the lucky one.
Oh, well.
I guess not.
I mean,
I'm not that lucky.
now you get to see it in action, you know?
Yeah,
I
not
will
that bad.
I will bounce now the Ephesian Mentor back and forth to
Yeah.
make a bunch of follower tokens with Church of Christ.
It's amazing that I'm the one that played the cross against myself.
And let's see, you've got 37 cards in deck. 50 should be sufficient. I will draw with Life in the Sun. We'll put that down. Put down Mary as Meek, so I can draw 3 cards now, I guess. I will play Offering Your Son. Go grab New Covenant. Shuffle that. I'll use Life in the Sun, draw 3. Got the Harvest, so and a Lawless. I will not use Lawless, but I will give you this Harvest token.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I will. Put that down. I will draw with Life in the Sun. Draw 3. And I will see if I have any in here. I will play a Life Through Christ and show you a crowd's choice. And play a single Brigade New Testament hero from, oh, of course I've got one. I'll play another Ephesian Widow, which will be protected from evil cards this turn. In case you didn't notice, I'm playing a 100 card deck.
Oh,
That's why
I
there
didn't
too.
notice that.
I'll play Faith of Sarah. Go grab Moses from my deck, I guess.
Oh, so that's what you're here too.
Alright, I'll play an Evil Slaves in Egypt. We'll play the Lord's Prayer and grab another Life in the Sun. Oops, shuffle that as well. And now we'll cycle 2 of them and draw 6 at a time, I guess. Well, I can't go over 14 cards in my hand at a time, sort of, so I'll draw 5. Or I guess I can't, yeah. I have to draw at least 3 at a time. So
Yeah.
one of these is, I didn't really do the math on it here. I guess one of them is in my discard pile, and then one of them is in my hand with Ephesian Widow.
It's all right. Like I'm reading the book of Daniel right now.
All right, so we'll grab this one back and keep going here. Let's do a
it's because I made you wait, right? That's what happened.
I mean, I figured it was only fair. Yeah. I'm trying to go quick, but
oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
We'll do numerous as a stars. Put that on top, and we'll play that, and I will show you these 3, 4 star cards in my hand, and grab any number, or take 4 human heroes from deck discard pile into reserve. So we'll go to deck for St. Patrick, Apollos, and I guess I can only do 2 before I'm at hand limit. So we'll put those 2 down. Okay, so now I think I'm safe to. Actually, no, I guess not. Okay. We'll play Emmaus Road. We'll grab Bearing Our Sin. We'll play that for no effect, and I will draw with Life in the Sun. Yeah, I'll put down that guy, that guy, that guy. Draw with Life in the Sun. Lost Soul, I will not use that. Put down Ramses as a site. Play Redeeming Branch. Look at my top 6. I will not take anything. I will play Invoking Terror and underdeck one of my follower tokens. And I will draw with Life in the Sun. I will put down the Tabernacle, put down Hard-Hearted Pharaoh. I will play that's kind of risky still. I will play Loaves and Fishes, so each can draw one.
Hey!
You're welcome.
What am I going to draw?
Another hero game? Oh yeah, that's right.
Is that?
Oh yeah, it's negated by. Oh no, I don't have Obed out yet. That's right.
What is that?
Wouldn't want to do that.
So I draw one and then top deck it.
Yep. We'll play or toss another Spirit as a Dove, and I will draw with Life in the Sun. And I will play yeah, I guess there's probably no harm in doing this now. Let's go ahead and play the Sowing Bountifully, and we'll reveal the top 49 cards of, well, 50 cards of your deck.
So I guess we'll just Angel.
Reveal it to all players. And so the neutral cards will end up on bottom, except for the Lost Souls will end up in play. And the rest will stay on top. So
all right.
That'll go on the bottom. That'll go in play.
That's amazing.
I'm glad you see it that way. Not everybody does, including myself for the most part. But I feel like it had to be done for science. Okay, that's another neutral card. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, so that'll be reveal to all, none, then send to bottom of deck, send to bottom of deck, and then those will all go there. And I guess you get to trigger first again if you want.
Look at that, another draw, man. We're blessed.
Oh wait.
Oh no, wait.
Did you draw a red dragon? Yeah, I forgot. For some reason, I was thinking like, oh yeah, that's fine if he can draw a red dragon. I wasn't thinking about the fact that it'd be discarded.
I was like, I'm not supposed to have that. All right.
Okay. Then will play Lord's Prayer. And we'll grab Emmanuel Road, which I'll play to grab Virgin Birth.
See, I knew I should have put down 3 woes before I put down the cross, but I was like, nah, I don't want to negate a lost soul.
It's understandable. I will play Virgin Birth to on Rahab to go grab a human from my deck, which I will fail that search. And I will. That's kind of unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that that was the top. I'm gonna play Plague of Blood. Reveal your top 3.
Okay.
No, I guess I can do it here.
Yeah, I don't know how to reveal yet. Oh, they're all enhancements.
Okay, so I can take a revealed enhancement and discard the evil cards. I will take Faith
Oh,
Unbowed.
You didn't discard Eternal Judgment.
So that gets the way the dual alignment cards work is since Sowing Bountifully returns the good cards to the top before discarding the evil cards, then Eternal Judgment would be targeted as a good card, and then it wouldn't be seen for as an evil card to be discarded.
All right.
But now it will be seen by Plague of Blood to be discarded, so we'll do that.
I needed that card.
I guess we'll. I will play Faith Unbowed and not banish it or anything. I mean, if I had a Daniel hero, I can protect him from your burial. But, alright, then I will use Life in the Sun to draw. I will play Faith of Isaac on Noah to look at my top 6. And I guess we'll take that one, send the rest to the bottom. I'll put down Ramses, play Turn to Egypt to discard your top 2.
Discard top 2.
Okay.
All right.
And I think, yeah, I guess we'll play another Lord's Prayer, grab Emmaus Road, search for Offering Your Son, which I'll play to search for David's Harp, shuffle those 3 back in. We'll put that down. And then I will draw with Life in the Sun. Oops. I will play another Turn to Egypt and hit your next 2.
I'll discard the top 2. Okay.
And then I will put down Foolish Edomites. And so Life in the Sun currently in my hand. I will play Life in the Sun, bounce Widow, draw my 2, I guess, because I bounce Widow, and then I can only draw 2 because that's gives me the hand limit, and then I have to underdeck a card with Foolish Edomites. So I will underdeck that card. And so I'll put Widow back down, get Life in the Sun, and then I will, that's my hand, I'll play Reverence and Awe, grab Golgotha, and banish your discard pile, except Heroes and Lost Souls.
Whew, that scared me. Okay. So let's move. Oh wait, that should be in my deck, not my discard pile.
Which one?
I accidentally put the first in my discard pile.
Ah, oops. Yeah, that's probably not where you want it. Okay, you got it. Cool. Okay. Then I will. Oh, you know, I guess that probably would have messed up the Turn to Egypt's, because those would have been discarded instead of whatever was discarded.
The top card?
Yeah, or because so when I played Turn to Egypt, it would hit your top 2, and one of them would be the first, and then it would go into play, and then you would get to use it. So I think, I guess whatever the second card you drew each time should be in your hand, or the second card that got milled each time. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure which cards those were. Which I'm okay with.
Okay. Well, as long as you're all right with that. Yeah, that's. I hadn't even thought about that. I was like, oh, I gotta remember to figure out an answer to the first before I start milling too much.
You're doing a lot over there. I should have realized. I should have realized that on my part. I failed on that.
Okay. So let's see. Play Faith.
As soon as you said that, I guess I was hitting save a lot.
Yeah. Grab Faith of Samuel. Killing Lackey, apparently. Okay, so now we'll play. We'll play Created by Christ, and we'll reveal top. Oh, I see. It's just not counting the cards out of my deck. Okay. So I just have 14 cards left in my deck here, and that's all of them. Okay. So there aren't any evil characters left. I can't play Moses, but I will play open hand, I guess, to see what you drew, and then shuffle the rest of these. Okay. So I think I look at your hand before you resolve Created by Christ. It goes in action priority order. I don't know that it'll matter too much, but I guess we'll.
You didn't look at my hand yet. You haven't looked at my hand yet.
Yeah. So we'll. Okay, so King of Tires, no wages. Okay.
Aha! You haven't discarded all my evil characters.
All right, so now we go through, and you don't. You shouldn't have any lost souls in your deck. I don't. There, yeah. So you can. I guess we can just reveal your deck to all of us, and you can play a hero from it.
Hey! To reveal all, I can play a hero. I'm scared.
And a lost soul, I guess. That too.
And then I don't shuffle, right? Because it's a
So
reveal.
then so each player must put one of each in play and shuffle the rest. So I think they do get shuffled, and then you resolve the first.
Top deck. I got a hero in play.
Yay.
Could have made a.
Let's see. Then I will go ahead and play the other one, I guess. And so we'll just do the same thing where I can't play Moses, and I'll play the deck discard Lost Soul. And then you can play another hero from your deck. And the first, I guess, if you want.
Alright, so play another hero. Draw
Okay.
one. Top deck.
Alright, we'll go back to the Life in the Sun thing. Bounce Widow, draw 3. I will underdeck this card. Put Widow back down. I will play. Oh, actually, I guess we'll leave Life in the Sun in the discard pile for a second. Play the other Life in the Sun, and bounce Foolish Edomites. Draw 3. And I'll put Artifact down, Land of Moab, and I'll put Widow back down and search for both Life in the Suns. And then I will play Emmaus Road. Grab. I'll just fail that search, shuffle Emmaus Road. And at some point I'm gonna have to get a few dominants out of my hand here. Alright, let's.
It's a cross negator?
Not yet. Just
Not
trying
yet.
to decide when I want that to happen. Alright, so let's do that. I'm gonna put down Obed, and then I will play harvest time for 1. And we'll play the first from your deck. Fail to search on mine.
All right.
So that comes out. And then it's now negated. And then I will.
Hey, this is the first time I got to 8 cards with this deck in the second turn.
I mean, if you think about it, it's still kind of your first turn.
A lot less heroes, but hey.
I will play 3 woes is good to negate your babble.
Poor Babel. You were short-lived.
It certainly could have thrown more of a wrench into things than it did. I got a little bit lucky in the draw here. And then I'm going to I guess I will play Falling Away to why do I have this face down? Oops. I'm just going to do it on one of my follower tokens. So we'll have
Oh, you don't want to give me a picture?
Well, it would underdeck your angels, so otherwise I would. And then I'm going to play Mayhem.
There it goes.
So
oh no!
Shuffle those 6 into my hand or into my deck. What I usually just do is just on my hand just do reveal to all, not in shuffle, and then grab 6
So
cards.
Do you pick 6 cards?
No, they're just at random. So I just unrevealed my hand to myself and shuffled it, and then did 6 random ones. So here you can just shuffle your hand, and I'll pick the 6 for you.
Oh, there you go. All right. All the cards that I wanted.
Oops, that's what I wanted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And draw 6. Okay. Then I'm going to play Vain Philosophy. Look at your hand.
Yep.
And we'll underdeck Crowd's Choice.
Okay.
And
not enjoying this deck as much as I was at first.
I'm glad it's consistent.
No, I mean, hey, pretty cool though, still.
Then I will that is all the dominance I'm going to play for now, so if you would like to play any, then feel free.
I had some. Not anymore.
Okay. Then I will play Life in the Sun and draw 3, bounce Widow. I'll play Love Righteousness to grab Pharaoh's Daughter from my discard pile.
Well, I guess I could have played one.
Still can if you want to. Don't know that it'll make too much difference here, but yes, because I can still. I guess it would stop me from playing other territory class enhancements that aren't Life in the Sun, because I can play that CBN on my follower tokens with Church of Christ.
It's true. I guess I'm wondering, is Burial's second sentence, if an opponent has played a good dominant this turn, you may underdeck a lost soul. I don't think you played a good dominant. You only played one.
I played 3 woes and Harvest Time, so that part is fair game if you would like to do that.
So how many regular lost souls can I underdeck?
So you can underdeck any number of meek lost souls, and then one, or a regular lost soul, and then another regular lost soul.
So that's the first and the hopper, and then I can underdeck all the meek lost souls.
You can do the first or the hopper and all the meek lost souls, or you can just do the first and the hopper.
Oh. So I can't do all the meek lost souls and the first and the hopper.
Right.
I just underdeck all my meek lost souls with Burial.
Okay.
Oh no, like you played Faith Unbound.
I didn't banish it though. I didn't have a Daniel hero, so the souls aren't protected.
Yeah.
So
Might as well play a dominant.
I assume you wanted to do the token as well.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to underdeck my meek lost soul?
Sure, why not? Huh? You've been helping me with my draws.
All right.
Send to the bottom of deck.
And then you can underdeck the first if you want.
Okay. All right.
I will put down Pharaoh's Daughter is evil. No search. I will activate Book of the Covenant on the Tabernacle. I will activate New Covenant on Book of the Covenant. Underdeck that, and Plague of Hail from my discard pile, and you don't have any good OT enhancements in yours. So that goes to the bottom of my deck. I will play Life in the Sun and draw 3. I will play it again, draw 3. Lost Soul, and I will play Second Coming to go grab Harvest Time. And I will play that to grab all your Lost Souls again, so we'll say 8 just in case.
Yeah, it's on 7.
Uh-oh, your Lost Souls disappeared.
Did it? It does this. I don't know why. I put tokens out.
Let's see. Try shuffling your deck. Maybe it'll work if you do it. No? Okay. Well, I
I have
guess,
tokens in my.
yeah, we can. Oh, you've got you've got a lot of tokens. Okay, it's a pretty funky looking Daniel souls you got there. All right, then we can use. Let's see, that's 6. Here we can
You broke my deck.
we can use this one for the first. Um, okay, so what we gotta do now? We'll put that down. I guess I'll play Life in the Sun again to draw the last card. And we'll put that back in hand. Alright, so I will play Plague of Hail to negate the cross again. Discard Pharaoh's Daughter again and hit your top 5.
Okay. Oh, we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Discard. Discard. Haha, Son of God, still project.
We'll get there. I will play Life in the Sun to. I'll play both of them to bounce my Nero and my follower token. I guess I kind of messed that up, huh? I guess we probably. What's that?
No. I don't think you can't activate another covenant on Book of the Covenant, right?
I can still. Yep.
Oh, can I play Dominant?
Sure.
I'll play Chronicles. Wait, is that? Okay, just for all curses, idols, all covenants, temple artifact. That's evil.
Okay.
So discard book of that.
Book in my Faith of Joseph. Okay. And then I will. Okay, now that I have Egyptian Unity, I will put my Exchanger into Ramses. Discard your top card.
Throw it in there. My small victories.
I will exchange for one of your Meek Daniel souls. And discard another card with Ramses.
Oh.
And I will put my Daniel soul into the other Ramses. Discard another card. There it is. And then we'll put my deck discard Lost Soul into Land of Moab to discard your last card there.
There he goes.
Alright, and then I will. Let's see. What do you still got in there? Hopefully nothing too crazy. Let's flip up the cross on Golgotha. And yeah, I will make a rescue attempt with Saint Simon.
All right. Assuming he's Meek.
Yes.
Oh, something I didn't have at the beginning of the game. A block.
Hey, there we go. Okay. So I will -2, I suppose, because yeah, no dominance. So I will play Faith of Samuel. and band to any number of human heroes. So we'll do David. I suppose we should make some, or do some non-Old Testament ones too. So we'll bring in a whole bunch of follower tokens. Fusion Mentor. And St. Patrick. You should come on, get in there too. So I guess we'll do Fusion Mentor first. So I think I have to, or no, I have to do play abilities before I band. So I will use the play on David the Psalmist to play The Lord Goes Before You. And I will begin a side battle between King of Tyrus and Egyptian army.
Can you move him from David?
I mean, I just have to play an enhancement involving music, which
Doesn't really matter. I think he won the battle, but
oh, I guess yeah, I don't have a
just
New
curious.
Testament hero that can do that. I forgot that this one didn't. Or I guess the battle is still interrupted by Faith of Samuel. That's right. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
So his protection is
He
interrupted.
Interrupt the battle.
Yeah.
All right.
And so then we'll band to these guys, and that'll make it your initiative.
Unless I can play some artifacts on King of Tyrus. I don't think I have anything.
If the artifacts have evil enhancements on them too, then
No. No, good. That's a good band, though.
Yeah, if you did still have a few cards left in your deck, it would. That was kind of the plan to finish it off. But,
Yeah, I don't think I was gonna have much in my deck after all that.
see, that's
I was thinking
how I
if
ended
I
up with
had
100 cards.
I was thinking to myself, man, if I had another turn, I can get a Bendigo into my reserve to try to get this card, to try to get some evil cards.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I don't think I was gonna get another turn.
So I was a little disappointed when you said, or when you chose to go first, but I mean, I couldn't be too disappointed because I actually had the combo in hand, and I was like, okay, well, as long as he doesn't do anything too devastating, then I think we would be able to get there.
No, I was thinking to myself, I should probably play 3 woes if I'm gonna put the cross down. It wouldn't have mattered. No, I don't think it would have mattered
Yeah.
what I've done.
Well, it's probably better for you to keep it in your hand because then I had to deal with it before negating the cross.
Yeah,
'Cause, I
true.
mean, if you had played it, then it wouldn't have done you any good. Um, so
I would need to put Foretelling Angel down, but he was in my reserve.
you know, I thought about that, and like I knew that. I mean, it was something that should have been in here anyway because of that, but I was like, oh, he's probably gonna play Daniel, so I should probably have a way to deal with Foretelling Angel, and so I did put Christian Martyr in here.
Oh yeah,
I thought
that would
about
hurt.
putting in Remnant too, just to like try to take it, and then also, I mean, I also had the Falling Away, but I was kind of hoping you would play a human hero that I could, uh, choose to block with Simon. But
Hey, man, I want to say it was a good game, but I don't think I got another turn in.
I'm, I mean, if it
It
makes
was
you
fun to
feel any
watch.
better, this I think is probably the first recorded game in Redemption history of winning on turn one. that,
Oh wow.
that I can think of, or that I know of at least. So you were at least part of
Well,
history.
I'm glad it was against me.
Me too, because I would. I mean, there are definitely a number of people out there who would not take it as well as you did. So
Oh no.
I was
I was
kind
thinking
of.
of myself.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just thinking like when I saw the matchup for this week, I was like, okay, Emmanuel's one of the few people that I feel confident I can do this against, and he wouldn't, be too upset. I mean, he would think that there's some coolness to it at least.
Oh no. I mean, when I saw you play it on your channel, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty awesome.
I was and
Because I'm always looking for creativeness.
I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb, and I really don't, or like I really wasn't planning to play it again for the rest of the tournament. But then I was talking to Luke Marshall, and like um, we were we talked about like the new covenant thing with getting Plague of Hail back, and in one of my other decks I had done the play first, Lord goes before you thing, and I was just kind of like, if you can sacrifice a little bit of the consistency, you might actually be able to get enough stuff in here to mill someone all the way down. And
Mm.
so I had the deck at 57 cards originally, and in one of the games that I tested it with, my opponent was testing out a deck, and it was at 63 cards, and I was able to get them down to two. And so I was like, okay, well, if I'm playing against a 50 card deck, then getting them down to two shouldn't be too difficult. But in one of the other test games that I played, I was like, okay, yeah, this is not consistent enough. Like I kind of just got lucky in that first game, and so I was like, you know what, let's try bring it up to 100, and then I can double up on the single brigade cards, like Widow and like Life in the Sun and some of the other tutors, and that somehow made it so much more consistent. Uh,
Yeah, you won all out there with a 100 card deck. I didn't realize that at first, and then
I was
I was
kind of
like, oh
waiting for
wow.
the reaction of like, wait, how many cards is that? But
When I saw the double, I was like, man, that's a 100 card deck. Oh, oh man.
um,
No, but I just love the creativity in the
well, thank you.
fellowship.
We will.
It's
We'll
awesome.
definitely have to get in a legitimate game at some point here soon, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, you only got Lackey relatively recently, so I don't think we've actually had a recorded game on the channel except for maybe a couple from the online tournaments.
Oh,
Uh,
I think it'll turn out the same outcome. I'll draw no heroes the first turn, and
I'll let you mulligan for that one. Just
oh, well, good game. I had all my It's funny. I had all my practices earlier, and I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome practice. I should have saved this for tonight."
That's how I felt against Josh when I played the first. I played this deck the first time, and I was like, okay, I feel like this deck is super consistent. Like I'm hitting it with like every test draw. Like I'm pretty sure I did like 8 test draws before playing the game with him, and then I played the game and I didn't have it. I was like, come on. that, that's how it always goes. The lackey shuffler likes to play games.
It does. It does.
But
Well,
yeah,
thank you, Jaden.
yeah.
You have
Thank
a
you
great night.
for bearing with me here.